Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
All right, it's going down. It's going down. It's going down on a Monday. It's going down on a Monday. Hey, y'all, it is Monday. I hope that you guys had a super fantastic weekend. OMG, we had a great weekend. I'm going to talk a little bit about the exciting weekend I had, but you guys, you are listening to We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m., the Superstation, WFDF Radio. And of course, you know, we are excited to be with you. We get a break on the weekend, but when I tell you, we get excited about coming back to you on Monday, each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 7 p.m. When I tell you, we're excited to bring the love, the light, the laughter, and the lessons. And so on today, we're excited. We got another juicy topic. And I'm telling you, my chat was blowing up over the weekend, and we were chatting back and forth with the girlfriends. And you know what? The issue that we're going to talk about today, it ain't nothing new. But since it's been in the news and people been talking about it, we said, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it on Monday. And so we're going to be talking about, girl, take that bonnet off, okay? To bonnet or not to bonnet? That is a question. Yeah, I'm talking about the head bonnets. You guys know the controversy, the conversations that got a little bit heated about, you know, should we put a bonnet on, wear it out in the public, or is that just something that you're supposed to wear at night? Because, you know, really most of them are called a night scarf or bonnet that you wear when you're sleeping. But hey, we're going to have the conversation. And you know what? Today, let's agree to disagree. You ain't got to agree with us, and we don't necessarily have to agree with you, but we just going to lean in, have some fun on today. You guys, I'm here with my girlfriends, the force of friendship. We got Caterina, who's my co-host on today, Sabrina and Gloria, and we're going to hear from them in just a minute. But you guys, it is countdown to the wedding, 6 days left, 6 days left. And when I tell you, we're excited. And in the Ellis household, this Saturday, you guys, we had my soon-to-be daughter-in-law's, her bridal shower. It was such a beautiful event. The weather was picture perfect, and we're praying that we'll have the same kind of weather on Saturday. And when I tell you, she's going to make such a lovely bride. When I tell you, she opened up those gifts, and let me tell you something, I was a good mother-in-law. I gave her something sexy, okay? I did sexy. I wasn't putting in no big bloomers and long stuff.
No, was it ratchet? Was it ratchet? Was it sexy and ratchet?
Girl, come on. It was sexy, and I gave her 365 days of what to do. Okay, don't play. Don't let the first lady fool you. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you. And so I'm telling you, some of those gifts we opened up, and I said, okay, I needs to know where you ordered that one from. Okay, don't play. But it was such a good time. We had so much fun with her. She's excited to be getting married to my son Charles, and we're just excited about what that day is going to hold. And when I tell you, I have not seen my girlfriends Gloria, Sabrina, or Caterina in over a year. Literally, we have not been together in over a year. The last time we were together was in February of 2020. So it has been a full year. So it's going to be so great to see them, to hug their necks, to catch up, and to have a good time. And I'm telling them right now, they bet not try to come in there outdoing me, the mother of the bride. Okay, I know, Gloria, don't even try it.
Step away. This is where the agree to disagree will start. We already saw your outfit, so now you don't know what we're gonna bring, but I promise you it's gonna be extra. It's gonna be extra, but ain't nobody playing with Crisette. Ain't nobody playing with Crisette. We know that you are gonna bring the heat. We know that. So out of due respect, we're gonna let you go ahead and have your day, okay? We're gonna have your day.
Tone it down a little bit. Tone it down. All right, well, I'm gonna throw it over to my co-host from the West Coast. Okay, Caterina, what's up?
It blows my mind, the conversations that my husband and my mama have. He will talk to her about sex. They will talk about. I'm like, they just have a great conversation. And sometimes I'm like, do you know that I'm like sitting here, like y'all are talking about me? We have a great relationship up in here. That blows my mind.
Like you ain't in the room. Like you ain't in the room.
I mean, like I'm not in the room. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm gonna need you to stay downstairs today. We will just go on and stay downstairs for the weekend, okay? I'm like, I can't believe y'all are having this conversation, So it's just interesting. I mean, very respectful, but it is interesting. Okay.
First ladies, they both married to the pastors. Maybe everybody need to go get them a pastor. How about that? Okay. All right, Katrina.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I'm like, oh my goodness. So it's a lot happening in here, and this right here is hilarious. Okay, because y'all know I'm on TikTok. So everybody's talking about this on TikTok. I cannot wait. Who's next? Sabrina.
Oh my goodness. You know what? No further ado. It's a Monday with Monday Motivation. I'm so glad to be with Gloria, Crisette, Sabrina, and Caterina, the force of friendship, every day of the week, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m., 9 to 10 a.m., the Superstation. Let's just get right to it. Because when they told me we were talking about this topic, I was like, what is there to talk about? We all agree that they don't belong outside the house. They belong by the nightstand, in the bed. But if y'all want to talk about it, let's go. Gloria, how are you out there in Baltimore?
Woo! I am so ready. I am so excited. It's true. We rest on the weekends and we're ready for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 to 7. And we're excited about the weather in Baltimore. Has been beautiful. I don't care if they're haters. I really do care, but you get used to them. I got a video I'm gonna put up about it, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So I'm excited to come to Detroit where they don't have those cicadas. Have you checked the weather?
None.
Chris, is the weather gonna be beautiful?
Oh, it's gonna be picture perfect.
Wow. It's gonna be so exciting, you guys. So we're so excited. We're excited to bring the extra. We're excited to see each other. We're gonna lift up Crisette. We're gonna be like this. Nobody else in the audience we're gonna be clapping like, yes, Crisette! So we're gonna be ready. We're gonna be all there with our girlfriends, leaning in and lifting and encouraging. And we're so excited for Buddy. We're so excited for Angelica. It's gonna be a great time. We're excited about the whole week, and we are really, really gonna be talking about this topic. So go ahead, Crisette. Let's start the ball.
Okay.
And we're broadcasting live, Chris. We're broadcasting live Friday in Detroit at the station, right? We're coming to them live.
Absolutely. We will all be together live on that Friday for sure. So that's going to be really, really a fun show. So you don't want to miss us on Friday. We will be together live. So you guys, let's go ahead and talk about this topic. Girl, if you don't take that bonnet off. Now, I'm sure so many of you have said that when you were sitting on a plane and you saw a sister come on with her bonnet on, and sometimes they come on with the bonnet on, you see a little glimpse of that pink roller. Come on, that little pink roller. Y'all know
the sponge, the one with the sponge
all up in her hair. You know, you sitting there saying, girl, you wrong for that. Okay. How many times have you been in the grocery store and you've seen a sister roll up in there in that bonnet and you like, for real? It ain't like 8 a.m. in the morning. It's like 12 noon. And you like, for real, you didn't take that bonnet off? And so you guys, we have all, so many of us, I'm not going to say everybody, but so many, we have had conversations with each other. We've had conversations with our sisters. We've had conversations with our girlfriends. And we know that we kind of give, let's be clear, the side eye when we see somebody walking up in a public place with a bonnet on. And so we've had these conversations. This ain't nothing new. This is something that's been going on in the Black community for a long time. And you know what? Let me just say this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing a bonnet. Absolutely nothing wrong with wearing a bonnet if you wear it for what it was designed to wear it for, right? And so we know that, you know, let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me start this out right. Okay, here we go. All right. Now I need to feel this show. So for those of you that are not listening, I just put on.
Even your bonnet is cute. Okay? Even your bonnet is cute. Okay.
Well, I don't know about all that. You need to ask Chuck how cute
not
it is.
Cute enough for outside.
That's another whole topic. Okay. How do you look sexy in a hair bonnet? Okay. So anyway, we know bonnets, they do have a lot of great benefits. You know, they help our hair from getting fuzzy. It helps from breakage. It helps that for not drying out, and it also really does help to protect your style. And so I know personally with me, now that I'm doing the natural hair, having this satin bonnet on at night is really protective because it's, again, helping my hair not to dry out. However, can you guys, let me just tell y'all, to our listening audience, if I came to visit Gloria, Caterina, or Sabrina, and they drove up to pick me up, and I walked out of the airport with this on my head, I guarantee you, they would just speed off. They wouldn't even say nothing. They would act like they didn't even know me, right?
For sure.
No, I would pick you up and take you to the hospital.
Address out of your book, so you couldn't get no Uber to my house. That's exactly what I would do.
I would pick you up and take you to the hospital because I would know something has gone wrong. I'm taking you to the hospital.
And you know what? The only one that would pick me up would be Sabrina. Isn't that right, Sabrina?
That's right. Pick you up and take you straight to the trash can to get rid of the bonnet. Okay.
You horrible. You are horrible.
Okay.
Horrible. Okay. So you guys, over this past weekend, we heard a lot of scuttlebutt was going on about the hair bonnets. And of course, we know the comedian Monique, gave an impassioned plea to her babies, to her Black queens about this bonnet. And so we just want to talk a little bit about what she had to say. So Michael, let's hear a little bit about what Monique had to say.
It took me a minute to say what I'm getting ready to say because I want to make sure I'm not saying it in judgment, and I want to make sure I'm saying it from a place of love.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Y'all, some of y'all have given me the title of auntie, and I'm honored that y'all do that, right? But there are times where auntie got to talk to her babies and say some real. So yesterday, I was in the airport in Atlanta because I'm in Jackson, Mississippi now at Chuckles Comedy Club, right? And we got 3 shows tonight. We got a matinee at 5:30, then we got 7, then we got 10. right? And I'm excited. I always love going to the stage. So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count, and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and these slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I'm not saying you don't have pride, but the representation that you're showing, someone would have to ask you to know that you had it. So my sweet baby, for the ones that do call me auntie, I love you for real. Even the ones that don't, I love y'all too. But the babies that say auntie to me, please listen to auntie. Always have pride in your representation of you. It's not to get a man. It's not. It is just your representation of you, my sweet baby.
All right. So we're going to stop it right there. We're going to stop it right there. And so, a couple of things I heard Monique saying in that piece. And first of all, her tone was perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you're talking to someone about something that they may feel is okay, or something that makes them feel like you're criticizing them, it's real easy for tempers to go up. And the next thing you know, it's a heated fight. And that was not your intention. So I just loved her tone, the smoothness. I mean, just listening to her, I leaned in because of the tone of her voice. I loved how she called them her babies. I mean, when you talk about somebody as your baby, that's a endearing term. That's something that makes you feel special. To me, it wasn't something that was a belittling. I really could feel her love coming across and what she was trying to relay. So I love that. And I love the fact that she said, for those of you who call me auntie, and we know in the Black community, everybody, you know what, Gloria's coming, Sabrina's coming, Caterina's coming, and guess what? Buddies, all of my aunties are coming. Kiera calls all of them Auntie Gloria, Auntie Bree, Auntie Caterina. So in the Black community, when we say auntie, it's not necessarily a blood thing. It, is a relationship thing. And that's just how we roll. That's my cousin, or that's my sister from another mother. And sometimes even if they're white and you got that kind of relationship, you say, oh, that's my brother from another mother. And okay, they are white and you're Black. So I just love how she started it out with a good tone. Now, of course, we know that there was a lot of negative feedback, but she did say, for all of you who call me auntie, and for those of you who don't. So she kind of knew that there might have been some people whose feathers were going to get ruffled, but you know what? She still had the conversation. So I'm going to throw it over to Caterina first. And Caterina, just kind of give us your take on that piece that Monique talked about.
Absolutely. I mean, I will tell you, as we're commenting in the seeing the comments in the chat, there are certainly our Muslim sisters. We are not talking about that. We are talking about a bonnet. We are not talking about someone who wears a head wrap that is designed to be worn outside, right? We are talking about it. And y'all know it makes me cringe wherever I see it. It makes me cringe in the area I live here, where I can count the number of Black folks. And it makes me cringe in Chicago, where in the neighborhood. It makes me cringe. And one of the questions I want to say is, how do you have the conversation? Certainly in public, you don't just walk up to a complete stranger, but how do you have the conversation? And then somebody brought it up about the difference of generations. But I will tell you now, I will say this, even Barbara Bates, when she was on, and her talked about that there are fashion pajamas that are meant to be worn outside. Like her showed this pair of silk pajamas. She was boarding her private plane. And I remember Barbara Bates mentioned that too. Y'all don't be getting it twisted. We are not talking about
Caterina, hold that thought. Yes. Hold that thought. We're going to go to our first break. And when we come back, we're going to continue the conversation, to bonnet or not to bonnet. We'll get right back to you right after the break.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, Facebook audience. This is Sabrina, and I am talking. No?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, what I want you guys to think about. What are you upset about? I didn't know what the uproar was. Why were people so mad?
No, that was it.
Why did people get mad? Because she told the truth. I listened.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
2 or 3 times just to try to get an understanding of why people were so upset. And so I guess the moral to the story is that it's kind of like when the preacher preaches. It's like, oh, he stepped on my toes. Well, I guess that's when you're upset, when you're the guilty party. But she made a good point. Take pride in representing yourself.
I'm on the radio show, and I was going to give you my American Express. Should I wait till 7 o'clock?
Tell Gloria.
I'll wait till 7.
Okay, Gloria, I don't know how we could do this. Gloria doesn't think she's muted. Okay, but the bottom line is you guys, how do we have the conversation? It's wrong. It's not right. Image is everything. People sum you up the first 7 seconds. When you have a hair bonnet, house shoes, the fuzzy house shoes, walking through the airport, there's going to be some thoughts. There's going to be some judgment. So we just got to do better. We got to do better. So if it's family members, the younger generation you need to have a talking to, let's start talking to them. Because obviously people who they respect, people who care, we're not talking enough. We're not having the hard conversations. So these are hard conversations, and I'm ready to have them. I am. Come on, you guys. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I think we're all on the same page here. I was telling the girlfriends when we were going to have this conversation, it's like, well, who's going to disagree here? And they said, a lot of people believe that it's perfectly okay. So if you believe it's perfectly okay, call in to 313-778-7600 and give us some understanding.
All right. We are coming off of this break. And you guys, prior to the break, we were talking about to bonnet or not to bonnet. Girl, take that bonnet off your head. Okay. Caterina, go ahead and finish your thought. And then we're going to go to our caller.
Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to say, don't get it twisted. We are not talking about the new chic PJ that is supposed to be worn outside. I'm not talking about that, although I haven't done that either. But this is one question I do have, Chris, though. Because when my granddaughter first got these, probably 3 years ago, I thought, why are you wearing them outside? Why are you wearing them outside? And now I have a pair. So I want to know from my girlfriends, how do you feel about these? I know the radio audience cannot see them, but some people call them slippers. But y'all, I love these shoes. I love them. Now, I know somebody's going to say those are slippers, but because they got bling on them, I want to know what you think. Of course, this reminds me of my grandmother, little slippers she'd be walking around with. So, Gloria, okay. Y'all, I have worn these outside. So
No. You wear them out? You wear them out?
They are shoes. They are shoes. They're slippers. They're shoes. Yolanda said no.
I'm with Yolanda.
On that.
No. With your short self. No. That little poof will take you all the way up to your neck. No. Nothing about it is cute. Nothing. Not even with stockings. No.
Gloria, that's a no. And you know what, you guys? Let me tell you something. When you think about entrepreneurs and you think about, people that do clothing, they look and see what's trending. They look and see what people are doing, and then they want to capitalize on that. And because they've seen people, out places with house shoes on or whatever, so they're going to capitalize on it. They're going to try to dress it up and try to make it into something a little bit more look like a sandal and a slipper, the combination. And I just think, everything, you can't jazz up everything. Some things, if you're wearing them in your yard, in the backyard, in the confines of your home, that's one thing. But when you start going to Walmart, going to the grocery store, I don't think Martha said no. Absolutely no. But you guys, we have a caller. Amy, are you on the line? You still there? Hi, Amy. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hey. Doing great.
How are you all? Yes, you are. You are so fun. Good to talk to you.
So, Amy, talk to us. What do you think about it?
Honey, this Bonnet thing, for real. Monique was wonderful. She was wonderful, and her tone exactly was right. And her perspective was totally on point. You do not need to wear those things out in public. For all the benefits that they do for your hair, they have other options to protect your hair if you don't want to wear your hair out. The whole thing about the head wraps that were made to wear out and how stylish they are, they evolved from the fact that there were laws against Black women wearing their hair out at all in the 17 and 1800s.
Wow.
They were against it. They had to wear head wraps. So we, of course, made that the style, and that made us that much more alluring. Okay? So that's quite different. That's quite different from wearing a bonnet. Now, I remember when my mother took us by train from Detroit to Los Angeles, and we stopped in Dallas because our food ran out, and we were going up to the counter to get sandwiches. And, so she ordered us sandwiches, and this was in Gloria was she was little, and this was maybe 1959 or whatever. And we got our sandwiches, and the woman said, okay, here are your sandwiches, and you all need to go because you can't sit at the counter and eat them. Now, my mother had on a black jumpsuit with a turn-up collar, short sleeve, and linen like polyester linen with a wide belt and, flat shoes. And she looked like the version of Lena Horne, hair bobbed and whatnot. And she stood up at the counter. She said, excuse me, is my money not green? Are we not passengers in this train station? We are going to sit here and enjoy our lunch. And that woman looked at her and said, yes, ma'am.
Wow. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Way back then, Miss Hilliard wasn't going for none of that. Amy, we're so glad you called in, and we can't wait to have you talk to us about your book. Yeah, Gloria, we'll definitely have you on the show. OMG. But you know what? Absolutely. And you are so right. Monique's tone was perfect. And I think sometimes, she did talk about, and I'm going to have the other girlfriends come in and chime in. One of the things she talked about was the pride, having pride in yourself. And, I know my mother and all of us probably had things that our mother told us. It was on these are things you do not do. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that Anne Green didn't, she's like, you did not comb hair on the front porch. What? If you cut on the front porch with a brush and a comb and some hair grease, you talking about her just cringing. And again, that was in my house. We could never comb. Now, if you had a baby doll, you could do that. But parting your hair and combing your hair on the front porch, absolutely not. You could not barbecue on the front porch? What? That was reserved for the backyard. Okay. I mean, Ann did not play. And so those are some things, and we know there are some things that are passed down to us that other people are like, well, my mama didn't say that. You know, we did barbecue on the front porch all the time. And so this isn't a judgment. I love that she said she was not trying to judge them at all. She said this was just observation, and she talked about the pride. And so, Amy, I totally agree with you that her tone was right. What she said was really from a place of love. Mm-hmm. So I think, Amy, again, thank you so much for calling in. So,
Sabrina, Gloria, what do you guys want to add?
Well, you know what, I know what Amy's talking about, and my mother was no joke when it came to that stuff. And you know, Chris, when I listened to Monique, the thing I thought about was pride as well. And what comes to mind is, what type of responsibility are we going to have when we're going through the airport, when we see these people in Walmart or the train station or wherever we see them? What are we going to do about it without making them feel small, without making them feel judged? But it truly is something that we're fighting for. You know, I was talking to a group this morning. I said, you know, all day long I've been listening to this song, You're Young, Gifted, and Black. And I just playing the song over and over and over in my head, You're Young, Gifted, and Black. And so, you know, sometimes when things are taken away from us because of people's perception, you know, we lose all that we've caught up with. And because they don't know, they just don't understand. And, you know, there's a definition of style and there's a definition of pride. But on the funny side of it, that looks ridiculous. The shoe with all the fur over it and the bonnet going all the way out to here. I mean, it just looks ridiculous. And it leads to the pajamas. It leads to it just leads to the hot messness of it all. It leads to the way people treat other people. It leads to the way you feel on an airplane. It leads to the way you experience travel. It leads to so much. It's like a run over. It's like the run over effect. You know, when things are like that, it just runs over, all that kind of stuff. So I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like at all. Period.
Okay, so Gloria, tell us how you really feel. Okay, got it. Hey guys, Sabrina, before I have you chime in, we have a couple of callers that we want to hear from. Gary, are you on the line? Gary.
Yes, you know I'm on the line. Where I'm going?
Hey, Gary. Yes, it is. How you doing?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for calling. We got issues. I'm doing super fantastic. How you doing?
Fantastic. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just glad to hear y'all say you got issues. When I said everybody's going to jump on me. So thank y'all for saying listen. It's, you know what? I know two of us on here came from Christian mamas and daddies and preachers and church folk. So home training is what we're really talking about a lack of. Mm-hmm. Spiritual respect, which taught us the governance of our mouth, our attitude. I'm going to let my child feel what they feel and do what they do. 39,000 people did not get White House jobs because of Facebook, social media. Wow. The federal courts have said it is okay to discriminate, not discriminate, but to judge, not to judge, but to govern how your employees look. So your Afrocentric hair is no longer accepted. It has gone all the way to the Supreme Court. For those of you who so Afrocentric that you ain't paying no attention because you don't watch the news, because everything on the news bad, but you miss out on the things that's informative. You miss out on the time when they tell you it's going to be police things all up and down 94, and you wonder why you get stuck in it because you stuck on stupid land on lazy and you try to get up. Let me say, we got to learn some moral character and respect for the common everyday person. We all look at this stuff, and when they jump on these planes not knowing it's a federal offense, somebody was on Facebook came out, they shouldn't have helped this girl. You start a flight attendant on a federal airspace. You lucky if you see outside. And the substance I'm talking about, I'm upset because of a mask or anything else. We got to stop, First Lady, and to the other lady, accepting the behavior that wrong is right and right is wrong. They've made us feel like wrong is right, and we wrong for wanting to be right. Somebody help us. But the substance essence of our survival in our community, whether we getting shot down with or without a gun. If there's an overtone that there's disrespect, and that's from black cops and white cops. Yeah, we know they stuck on stupid. Yeah, we know they're racist. But what do you do with the ignorant black cop who just mad because somebody cussed him out when he couldn't do nothing? Because when he put his badge on, guess what? Because we forgetting the statistics of how many battered women are coming out of police homes. So they already known to have issues. So when we talk about flip-flops, half of us would have got whooped and come out going to Walmart with bonnets on, curls in your hair, the rollers in your hair. We were taught moral standards and some things you just didn't do.
Right.
Including some of the stuff that sounds crazy. Don't put your purse on the floor. Don't go in your mama's purse. You tried going in your mama's purse, 20 years ago. You got to beat down, roll over, and beat down again.
Right.
And now the mamas complain about, she done took some money out my. How you gonna take some money out your mama's purse? All I'm saying is there is a moral standard to all of this. We can write as many books. All of us can write a book on this stuff because we know what we've seen and we know what we saw. Don't get mad. You should say to my friend all the time, don't get mad at your truth because I saw and spoke on what I've seen. If I saw it, I can say it.
Right. And Gary, when I tell you, you have laid out a litany of things. I mean, litany. You talked about, the way, the things that we were taught. And I think, it is so important that we, as parents, that we do instill in our children the pride. But one of the things that's a real issue is that you do have a lot of children raising children. When you think about, there are children at 15 and 16, 18 years old, they're having children. And so, you all know that at that age, the maturity is not necessarily there. And sometimes they are doing the best that they can do. And you know what? That old saying, if they knew to do better, they would do better. But I agree with Gloria. What are some of the things that we can do without offending or without making them feel judged? And Gary, we have a couple more callers, but we truly appreciate you lending your voice and letting it be heard on We Got Issues. So thank you so much for calling in. All right, we're going to go to our next caller. Do we have Kim? Kim, are you still there?
Yes, ma'am. I am still here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Kim, thank you so much for calling. We Got Issues. Talk to us. What do you think about this issue?
You know what? I just have to say this because this reminds me of back in the 80s. Remember when everybody had a Jerry curl and folks was walking around with them shower caps on their head?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. That was wrong back then, right? That was wrong back then. And, so let me fast forward for you. So we talk about, and Gloria, I know this is going to resonate with you, and I look up to you. I look up to all of y'all, okay? I'm from Texas, so y'all going to hear y'all. But you talk about queendom, standing and existing in your queendom and your crown, okay? A bonnet is not a crown, okay? I'm just going to say it like that. If you want to be treated like a queen, you need to have some pride in yourself. I agree with Monique.
Right.
And you know what they say, the truth hurts. And back in the day, child, our mamas would have wore us out with a flip-flop on the bottom for coming outside looking like that. That's just not acceptable, And so I feel that, the younger generation coming up behind us are watching what we do. And it's important for us to set the example, right? So the saggy pants coming down and, the bonnets and all that kind of thing, these are not trend-setting things. And we look at and think about how we want to be treated. Okay? There are still microaggressions, right? So much so that whatever we see certain people do that look like us, that is reflected on all of us, right? So that's still true. It's 2021, but that's still true. So people need to think about the fact that puts forth the image of being trifling. And you know what? That's not what we want to put out there for us. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, Kim, we certainly appreciate you saying it on We Got Issues, and you're absolutely right. You know, image is everything. I tell people all the time, you know, the Bible says that man looks on the outward appearance and God looks at the heart. So you know what? Man is always going to judge you, whether you want to say that's right or wrong, based on your image. You know the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first good impression. And you don't know, you know, many times, you know, when and I was sharing this with my girlfriend earlier today, I said, you know what? I said, I don't know if it's old school or new school, but I can count on my hand the number of times that I have gone to the airport without, you know, making sure that I look nice. I mean, maybe when I've gotten on an early flight at 6 a.m. at the crack of dawn and nobody's on there, I may not have on any makeup, have my baseball cap on. But I'll be totally honest, I can really count on my hand the number of times where I have not thought that it was, you know, important to show up and to dress up and to look nice. And literally, you know, when I go to the airport, I can't tell you how many times the people that are there will say, you look so nice. You just do not know the kinds of things we see, you know, standing here through security, what people have on. And so many times, you know, getting on the plane, that is a comment, which means that that's a thing. People come looking any kind of way when they go to the airport. So I just want to say thank you, Kim, again for calling in and, you know, sharing your voice to this topic. We have one more caller, and we're going to then from there, I want Sabrina to talk about maybe some of the things that they're saying on our Facebook page. I think we have Benita. Benita is on the line. Hey, Benita.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I'm happy to call in today. And as Chris was speaking just a moment ago, she's right. We just had a conversation about this. And I think that Gary summed it up very well. This is a spiritual issue. And the thing that concerns me is that I wonder how systemic this is at this point in where we are in our history. I'm praying that it's just a phase, because right now what I'm seeing all over the world, I'm seeing the disrespect that younger folk are manifesting, not only in their appearance, but just in their overall behavior. And you wonder to yourself, wow, how deep is this? And is there a remedy for this? What is the remedy? Because right now we're talking about, you know, we know we have a problem. We have people wearing the bonnets on their head, but we also got people cussing you out when you try to correct them in love. So there's a certain amount, I've been using this word lately, Crisette is gonna laugh, emotional intelligence.
That's right.
That even allow you to receive feedback that will help you correct your behavior. So my question is, and I don't want to throw off the show, but how do we help to change and correct what we're seeing?
You know, and that is the $1 million question. Sabrina, you want to try to tackle that one?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's an issue. We got issues. That's what we're talking about on this show. And it makes me really sad to think that it is our issue. It's like, why are these young people? Because it is a certain age group that goes out like that. Most of the time, they're very young. And if you think about saying anything to them, you're going to get cussed in a big way. So you don't say anything to them, but you look at them in sorrow. I was in the airport not too long ago. It's like, when did the airport become like the Greyhound bus station?
Right.
Travel used to be a luxury. It used to be, people would take pride in going to get on an airplane. And so I thank you for that, Benita. I wonder, what are we know the problem, what are some solutions? And I think it starts at home, and if not at home, in the neighborhood, because there are some people in the neighborhood that the young people respect. There's an auntie in the neighborhood where they like to hang at her house. They know she's coming from a place of love. They're not being judged by the quote unquote auntie in the neighborhood. And so I just think open communication, we can no longer just look the other way. We can no longer just shake our head in disgust and not say something. You see something, you got to say something. I just, pajamas, the bonnets, the slippers, that's nighttime wear at home. Period. End of discussion. It doesn't belong outside. I can only think. I mean, my mother would not say a lot, but when she was sitting at that kitchen chair, we had to pass her to get outside. And I knew that she was going to take a look at me before I got out that door. And so I would look at myself in that mirror up and down. I'd make sure it wasn't too short or too tight. It was just right. Because if it wasn't, she was going to give me a look, and she didn't have to say much. I just knew to go on back upstairs and change and get it right. And so I'm grateful for that upbringing. I'm grateful that I had a praying grandmother that I sure didn't want to go let her see me out of order, okay? Because I did not want the lecture. I did not want the disappointment. And so I think it's on us to just be more vocal, and it's not their problem anymore. It's our problem. If it's not in your house, it's in your community, and we have to own that and make it better, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. Sabrina, that was so powerful because, one of the things, that people were saying in response to Monique was, it's not your business. People can they're grown, they can do what they want to do. It's not your business. And you know what? At the end of the day, we always said it takes a village to raise a child. It is our business from the standpoint as a culture. And we've had this discussion many times, how what one Black person does affects us all. We all take on the negativism of it. And of course, we're excited when it's something positive, but you all know at your house when something goes down, with it, whether you say it verbally or you internalize it and say, Lord, I hope it wasn't a Black person. I hope it wasn't them, because we just sometimes feel that when larger society sees negative behaviors of Black people, they transport that onto all Black people. And so because we don't want to feel like all Black people don't do this, all Black people don't do that, when we see that, we just kind of cringe on the inside. And one of the things I think is important too is that you should care. And you may think that, well, I can do what I want to do. It's my life and I can live it the way I want to live. But you know what? When it comes to getting hired, when it comes to being able to be promoted, just like, I can post whatever I want to on Facebook. Well, you do know that when corporations and people are looking to hire, they check out your Facebook. They check out your Instagram. And so if you think that you are an island and you can do whatever you're big and bad enough to do, and it does not affect you in the long run, then you are sadly mistaken. Now, if you are someone that got millions and millions of dollars and you can do whatever you want to do because you ain't got to worry about your light bill being paid, you ain't worried about your car note, then hey, do you, boo. But for most people, the majority of people who have to live in a society that base it on how your appearance and what you're looking like, it does matter. I know you want to say, we've always had to be careful. Black women can't do this to their hair. They can't do that to their hair. And I'm totally glad that we have the freedom to express ourselves in the different styles that we wear. But I think at some point, come on, y'all, a bonnet in public is pushing the envelope.
Each one reach one. That's how we hit it. You have to reach people early and teach, because if you do that, that's also the person who doesn't know how to dress up for a job interview, doesn't know. This is the deal. It's amazing when you go and you look at some folks' wardrobes. They don't own a dress, or they don't own anything that's not tight, or they don't know how to wear proper undergarments. I mean, the men don't know how to tie a tie. Like the caller said, it's bigger than just a bonnet outside. So it's really amazing. It's the same clothes that they wear. They just have one style of clothes. And, it's unfortunate. Today, I'll say this quickly, Chris, I had someone call me this morning early for prayer. And I prayed with her. And then at the end, she said, thank you so much. I'm almost want to cry saying it. She said, because I don't have a family. I don't have a family I could call for this.
Right.
And she's dealt with domestic violence. She's dealt with family members that have been in and out of the system. She's dealt with a brother who was murdered. I mean, she's just everything that is the stereotypical Black folks. She's dealt with it. And I knew when my phone rang at 6 a.m. that it was something that she needed. And so it's just each one reach one. Today, I was able to reach her. And so that's part of what we got to do. And sometimes it's even those of us that have some cash, take somebody to the store. And don't just tell them how to dress.
But they got to be open. What if they're not open?
Yeah,
but she called you,
open.
Katrina. She called you
It's
for that. Some of these young folks, you better not say nothing to them. You better not look at them a certain way,
truth.
Or else. Somebody
in our own
said
family.
on the chat.
I got some cousins I could think. I mean, I'm just not too proud to say I got some cousins that wouldn't be open to it.
Right.
I mean, if you go deep enough in your own family, we all got some cousins that we.
But we use that word culture. We said we have to do it as a culture. So when you do it one-on-one, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're not. You're hitting that one person. But what you guys described and what we described is our parents created a culture that it was not right. Not only would Sabrina's mother look at her wrong, she would look at her, not wanting her to be that way. But if Sabrina did not adhere to what her mother's going to say, the neighbor right next to her was going to look at Sabrina with the same look. And so, you can't get past your mother. You can't get past your auntie. You can't get past the lady down the street. And so it's a culture that we have to do. And I don't know exactly how to do it, but we have to keep the conversation. One of it is the conversation has to stay strong, where we continue to take responsibility for our culture and letting them know what this does, because if they don't know better, they won't do better. And the standard has to stay high, because we have to also realize that they want us to tear down our own culture. That's how they win. They win by us getting tired of being responsible for our culture. They win by us not wanting to increase our financial obligations or having an economic win. They win by us not being eligible for the strong jobs, because people's perception is if she wears a bonnet, all Black people are going to wear a bonnet. So that's how we all lose, by letting them win. And so it's a culture that we have to create. This is the kind of conversation. And as we talk with the Force of Friendship, and we have our tribe going forward, and then they go to work, or they go to lunch, or they go to the 4th of July, it starts on that, the 4th of July. And the other thing I want to say is, if you are allowed to lift up those who look great, don't just eyeball those who make you feel bad, but lift up those that look really good. You look really nice. I'm so glad you wore that. You look fabulous. When we talk positively about what people are doing, those who are not getting that type of attention, sometimes they change. But it's a culture that we have to make people want to participate, and letting them know whether when they don't want to participate, they are taking everybody down.
Yeah, that is so true. I think we have one more caller. Oh my goodness, this conversation is so good. It's so juicy. And I know we're almost out of time. Dre, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Okay, Drea, give us your comments about this topic.
My comment is bonnets to put to bed. Bonnets need to stay off your heads outside. And I think that if they stop making it such a fashion statement with the stars and the singers and the young actors and the models and the shows like Bring It, where all the girls had the bonnets on going to the competitions and thinking it's cute, then they would stop doing it. And they need to stop making the bonnets for the babies.
You know what, Drea? I mean, you're touching on a whole lot because especially young people, they look up to stars. They look up to, you know, people like that, you know, are, you know, making money. And but a lot of times what they don't realize is stars can do that because they got millions and millions of dollars. So what they're doing is not necessarily going to affect their pocketbook, right? Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, you guys, this conversation, I mean, we can go on and on. We can talk about guys and their sagging pants. I mean, so many things. Ebonics, come on. I mean, it's so many things that we can touch on. But unfortunately, we are bringing this to a close. I do have one announcement before we end.
Interaction with Pastor Robert Tilton on Thursday, June 24th at 7:30 p.m. at the Westin Hotel in Southfield, Michigan. Receive deliverance from troublesome issues and prayer from Pastor Robert Tilton himself. All right, well, we're going to have a few closing words and then we are done. Sabrina, what do you want to share before we end?
You know what? I think we've said it all. We've all are in agreement that we don't want bonnets outside. I don't want to see none of y'all at the wedding this weekend in your bonnet. Okay? No bonnets at the wedding this weekend. Okay? We all agree.
Not
with
even
that.
A stylish one? Not even a stylish one?
No. No bonnets. No bonnets. No bonnets. So, hey, y'all. Let's just keep the word hot and heavy out there. Let's encourage our folks in our neighborhoods, at the schoolhouse. We have to talk about it. It's just not good. It's not a good look, okay? We can be better if we knew better. We know better, so let's talk about it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, there you heard it from Sabrina Goodwin Monday, herself, okay? All right, so you have been listening to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. We are the Force of Friendship. Do us a favor, tell a friend about the show. And of course, we want you to follow us at the Force of Friendship on social media. We always want to know what your issues are. So put it in the chat, let us know so that we can make sure that we're bringing you the issues that you want to hear about. You have, again, been listening to The Force of Friendship. We got issues. We'll see you on tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao. See y'all tomorrow.
I just want to say we had a few folks that said it was their first time listening in, and we are grateful that y'all are listening in for the first time. So you can also download the 9:10 a.m. Superstation app, and that allows you to listen on the go. You can listen through AirPlay or Roku. It's all different ways. If you go to our website, theforceoffriendship.com, you'll see all the ways. So share, you guys. Share this. So I think that's it. Bye-bye to our Facebook page.
Tomorrow.
Bye. Kim's first time too. Welcome, Kim. Bye-bye.